Hello students. Today we will start with the new chapter, that is structure of atom. And this is the last chapter in chemistry, and this is very important chapter. So please pay attention. Now you all know what is matter. Matter is anything which occupies space and has mass. So this matter is made up of what? This matter, it consists of atoms and molecules. Or atoms and molecules are the building blocks of matter. I hope it is clear to everyone. What is the meaning of building blocks of matter? Means in the matter is made up of atoms or molecules. Okay, I hope it is clear to everyone. Now, you all know that matter differ from each other. Why? Matter is different from each other, or matter differ from each other due to a difference in elements, due to a difference in atoms and molecules. I hope it is clear to you. You all know what is matter. This book is a matter, pencil is a matter, table is a matter. So this is rubber is a matter. So now this matter, it consists of atoms and molecules. Now there are different type of matter. So there are different types of atoms and molecules. I hope it is clear to you now. Now students, first point is atoms and molecules are building blocks of matter. Second, atoms are divisible and have smaller particles in them which are called subatomic particles. Subatomic particles of atoms are protons, electrons and neutrons. So before it was thought, and in one of Dalton's postulates also, it says that atoms are the smallest particles and they cannot be further divided. But it is not so. Later on, it was discovered that atoms can be divided into still smaller particles, and those smaller particles are called as subatomic particles, and they are present inside the atoms. And these subatomic particles of atoms are of three types, that is protons, electrons and neutrons. So atom is divisible, and it is divisible into subatomic particles. I hope it is clear to everyone now. Now, for understanding the nature of charged particles in matter, one activity was done. You all are aware of this activity. Many times you have done this activity. First is when you rub a scale on your hairs and bring it near the paper pieces, what you observe? You observe that the paper pieces get attracted to the scale, and this we have discussed last year also, I remember. Now, there is one activity here. Please see in the picture. Refer your PDF files also, students. Now, this is a glass rod. Glass rod, it is a rod made up of glass. Wooden rod, a rod made up of wood. Now, this is a glass rod and there is one silk cloth. Now, when they are separate, they are neutral. When they are separate, suppose glass rod, you take glass rod and you bring a balloon near the glass rod. Nothing will happen. Balloon will neither be attracted, neither be repelled by the glass rod. Attracted means coming towards each other, okay, and repelling, going away from each other. So now you take glass rod and you take silk cloth. Rub silk cloth with glass rod as it is shown in the picture. And after that, this glass rod you bring close to the balloon, inflated balloon. You will find that balloon gets attracted towards the glass rod, or it moves towards the glass rod. Why? You have studied this last year that like charges, means similar charges, they repel each other. Unlike charges, means opposite charges, they attract each other. Like charges like plus positive charge and positive charge, if they are close to each other, they will repel each other. Okay, and positive and negative charge, they are unlike charges, they will attract each other. And the charged body also attracts the neutral body. If a positive charged body is brought near the neutral body, okay, here balloon is the neutral body, balloon is not rubbed with anything, so it does not lose charge. So if a charged body is brought near the neutral body gets attracted towards the charged body. Now here what has happened, when the silk cloth is rubbed with glass rod, what happens, both the silk cloth and the glass rod gets charged. Okay, glass rod becomes positively charged and silk cloth becomes negatively charged. And when this glass rod is brought near the balloon, which is neutral, balloon gets attracted towards the glass rod because the charged body attracts the neutral body. I hope it is clear till here. Now why it happens? Because when the glass rod and the silk cloth was not rubbed, at that time glass rod was neutral, silk cloth was also neutral, which shows that glass rod and silk contains large number of small particles called as atoms. So when glass rod and silk cloth were not rubbed, at that time the atoms were neutral. Atoms in the glass rod was also neutral and atoms in silk cloth was also neutral. Neutral means atoms were neutral means what? Means atom was neither positively charged and it was neither negatively charged. Okay. Now atoms contain 3 subatomic particles, that is protons, electrons and neutrons. Electrons are negatively charged and protons are positively charged. Neutrons, they are neutral, means they do not have any charge. So in the glass rod and the silk contains large number of atoms, and in these atoms what are present? Subatomic particles. And what are those subatomic particles? Protons, electrons and neutrons. Protons are positively charged, electrons are negatively charged and neutrons are neutral. So when silk and glass rod were not rubbed, at that time the atom was neutral. Means same number of protons and electrons or same number of positive and negative charge was present in the atom. Okay. So same number of protons and electrons were present in the atom and they cancelled each other. So atoms were neutral. But when silk cloth was rubbed with the glass rod, what happened? The electrons started moving towards the silk cloth. Understood? Electrons were present in the atoms and a glass rod consists of large number of atoms. So what happened during that time? The electrons from the atoms present in the glass rod started moving towards the silk cloth. Now due to that, what happened? There were more protons and less electrons because most of the electrons started moving towards the silk cloth. So protons are positively charged, so there were more protons in the atoms of the silk cloth and silk cloth became positively charged. You can see here on the glass rod becomes positively charged. I am sorry students, the electrons from the atoms of glass rod started moving towards the silk cloth. Okay. Now negative charge started moving towards the silk cloth. So in the atoms present in the glass rod, there were more protons because most of the electrons, they were transferred to the silk cloth. So there were less electrons in the glass rod and more protons in the atoms of the glass rod, due to which the glass rod became positively charged. And silk cloth have more electrons, more negative charge compared to protons. So silk cloth attained negative charge. You can see here glass rod is it's shown here positively charged. You can see in the glass rod plus is written, and in the silk cloth minus is written. And what is these round circles? These are actually the atoms. Okay, I hope it is clear. Till here everything is clear to you students, I hope. So still if you have any doubt, you can ask from me. Here you can see it's written opposite charges attract each other and neutral bodies, while like charges repel each other. Understood or no? This experiment we have done last year also. Now, so this suggests that in the atom, this experiment suggests that in the atom still smaller particles are present. This activity suggested that atoms are divisible because after rubbing the glass rod with the silk, they became charged and they attracted balloon. The glass rod attracted balloon, which shows that still some smaller particles must be present in the atoms. I hope it is clear to all of you till here. Now students, electrons. Electrons were discovered by J.J. Thomson, by scientist J.J. Thomson in 1897. Mass of an electron is 1 by 1840th of hydrogen atom. Means the mass or the weight of electron is very, very, very small. Okay? And it's written the mass of the electron is 9 into 10 raised to power minus 28 grams. So mass of the electron is very, very, very small. It is taken as negligible. Is it clear? Charged electrons are negatively charged. Okay? And the charge on the electron is 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb of negative charge. I hope it is clear to everyone till here. It is the smallest charged by any particle, so it is taken as a unit negative charge. What does it mean? Charge on the electron is 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19, so it is taken as minus 1. So each electron has a charge of minus 1. If there are 2 electrons will have charge of minus 2. If there are 6 electrons will have charge of minus 6. Understood? If there are 10 electrons, they will have a charge of minus 10. So for each electron, the charge is taken as minus 1. Now, this is a picture of J.J. Thomson. Now we come to protons. Proton is another subatomic particle of an atom, and this proton was discovered by Goldstein. Protons are actually hydrogen atom which has lost electrons. Okay. Now you know in an atom subatomic particles are present, that is atoms, that is electrons, protons and neutrons. Now hydrogen atom also have these 3 subatomic particles. Which 3 subatomic particles? That is protons, electrons and neutrons. Now what is a proton? Proton is actually similar to hydrogen atom which does not have electrons or which has lost electrons. In hydrogen atom, neutron is not present. Understood? So protons are the hydrogen atom which has lost electrons, and hydrogen does not contain neutrons. So protons are exactly similar to hydrogen atom. Mass of proton is equal to the mass of hydrogen atom, and mass of proton is 1 unit because mass of hydrogen is also 1 unit. The charge on proton is equal and opposite to the charge of electron. Now in the electron the charge was minus 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb of negative charge. So in proton the charge is 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb of positive charge. So in electrons it was taken as minus 1. Same way in protons it is taken as plus 1. Okay. I hope it is clear to all of you. So if one proton will have a positive charge of 1, that is plus 1, 2 will have plus 2, 10 will have plus 3, 10 will have plus 10, and in electrons, 10 electrons will have minus 10, 10 protons will have plus 10. Now in a neutral atom, what happens? in the neutral atom the electrons and protons are same. Now suppose there is a neutral atom and it has 6 electrons and it has 6 protons. Understood? So in a neutral atom which has 6 electrons and 6 protons, the charge of electrons will be -6 and charge on protons will be +6. So they are equal and opposite, they cancel out and atom is as a whole neutral. It is neither positively charged nor negatively charged. I hope you all have understood till here. Now this is picture of Goldstein who discovered protons. Now neutrons. Neutrons were discovered by James Chadwick in 1932. It is neutral, means it does not have any charge and it is not found in hydrogen atom. The mass of a neutron is 1 unit, which is also equal to the mass of proton. Okay. This is the picture of James Chadwick. Now please see this table, students. Proton has a charge of +1, has a mass of 1 and the location is nucleus. That I will explain you. Okay. Neutron doesn't have any charge, mass is 1 because I told you the mass of proton and neutron is same and it is also found in the nucleus. Electrons, the charge is -1. Please see here, proton and electron have the same charge but opposite. Now mass of electron is taken negligible because it is very, very small and electrons are found in the orbitals. What are orbitals? That I will explain you. I hope all of you have understood till here. Students, this chapter is very, very important chapter because it forms the base of chemistry. Okay. Now different particles were discovered, different subatomic particles were discovered by different scientists. Now those they did some experiments and those experiments are not in the syllabus. So the particles were discovered. Now another question was how these particles are arranged in an atom, because these particles are, or these subatomic particles are found in the atom, but in the atom how are they arranged? There must be some pattern in which they were arranged or in which they are arranged. So different models were given to suggest the structure of atom or the arrangement of these particles, arrangement of these subatomic particles in atom. So different scientists, they gave different models. Okay. So the different models of structure of atom proposed by different scientists are Thomson's model. He proposed one model, but there were few drawbacks in that model which he could not explain. Then second scientist, he gave another model of atom, that is Rutherford model. The name of the scientist is Rutherford and the model was called as Rutherford model. In this model, all the drawbacks of Thomson's model were removed. But again in this model, there were few drawbacks which Rutherford could not explain. Then another model was given by Bohr. Name of the scientist is Bohr and it's called Bohas model. In the Bohr model, the drawbacks of Rutherford model were removed. So present model of atom or present model about the arrangement of subatomic particles in atom is of Bohr's model. Okay. Bohr's model of an atom. The atom is made up of subatomic particles, that is electrons, protons and neutrons. This I have told you before also that it is made up of subatomic particles, that is electron, protons and neutrons. Okay. Now due to the presence of equal number of electrons and protons, atom as a whole is neutral. I had told you this also. that atom is neutral because it contains same number of electrons and protons. So protons are positively charged, they have 1 unit of positive charge, electrons have 1 unit of negative charge. So if the protons and electrons are same in number, then what will happen? They will cancel out. Suppose if in an atom there are 6 electrons, means it will have 6 negative charge, minus 6, and if there are 6 protons, it will be plus 6. So plus 6 and plus 6 and minus 6, they cancel out, and as a whole the atom is neutral. Now protons and neutrons are located in the small nucleus in the center of atom. Students, in the atom, in the center, protons and neutrons are located, and that is the nucleus. Now nucleus is positively charged. The charge on the nucleus is positive. Why? Because neutrons are neutral, it does not have any charge, and protons are positively charged. So nucleus will have what charge? Nucleus will have positive charge. Now if in the nucleus, if there are, let us say there are 8 neutrons and there are 6 protons, so what will be the charge on the nucleus? It will be 6 positive, because neutrons does not have any charge. Okay, now let us say if there is an atom, in the center what are the 2 subatomic particles present? Protons and neutrons. Okay, and outside the nucleus, electrons, they revolve, they move. And let us say there are 6 protons, 8 neutrons, and there are 6 electrons. So nucleus will have 6 positive charge, there will be 6 plus, and there will be 6 electrons, that is minus 6. So this minus 6 and 6 plus or plus 6, they will cancel each other, and as a whole the atom will be neutral. Now next point, the electrons revolve rapidly around nucleus in a fixed circular paths called as energy level or shells. Now I told you nucleus is in the center. Now electrons, they revolve around the nucleus. Okay, and in a fixed path, there is a fixed path. In that path only they revolve, and those paths are called as energy level or shells. As the planets, they move around the sun, they move in a fixed path which are called as orbit. Same way the electrons also move around the nucleus in a fixed path which are called as energy levels or shells, and they are represented by letters K, L, M, N. Means if there is first shell, okay, if there is first energy level is given K. K is the first energy shell, first energy level. L, second energy level. If 2 are present, if 2 energy levels are present or 2 shells are present, then L is given, that letter is given to second energy level. M means third energy level. N means fourth energy level. I will explain you in the picture. Now next point, there is a limit to the number of electrons which each energy shell can hold. Now I told you that the electrons, they move in the energy shells, and energy shells can be 1, 2, 3, 4. If energy shell is 1, it is represented by K. If energy shell is 2, it is represented by L. If energy shell is 3, it is represented by M, and so on. Now any number of electrons cannot be accommodated in energy shells. It is not that if energy in the first energy shell you can accommodate as many electrons as you want. No, in first energy shell can accommodate only 2 electrons. Second energy shell, that is L, can accommodate only 8 electrons. Third energy shell M can accommodate only 18 electrons. Generally we take 8 electrons because Why we take 8 electrons, that you will study in higher classes, because these shells also have subshells. Okay, so I don't want to go in detail, just remember it, because when you will study all these things in classes 11th and 12th. So actually in M shell there should be 8 electrons, but we take in M shell there are 18 electrons, but we take 8 electrons. Okay, and 32 electrons. Now this was the theoretical part, and I will explain you in the structure. Please see the structure of atoms. So you will see here electrons, neutrons and protons. So these are the 3 subatomic particles of atom. Please see here nucleus. It's written very clearly, nucleus, and refer your PDF files also. Now in the nucleus, what are present in the nucleus? Protons and neutrons. You can see here in the nucleus, protons, which is shown by red color, is present, and neutrons shown by gray color is present. Understood? And you can see here electrons also around the nucleus. You can see electrons. So these electrons, they are moving in a fixed path called as energy shells or energy levels. Okay, and electron are always written as E minus. On top we write minus, and protons are always denoted by P, on top plus, or simply P also you can denote. So you can see here, just see first energy level. Can you see first shell which is close to the nucleus? This is the K shell. Now after that you can see second shell on the outer side of the atom. This is the L shell. L shell. If there is one more shell, then that is called as M shell. I hope it is clear to all of you. So the first shell is K shell, which is closer to the nucleus, and the second one, which is on the outer side, is L shell. And if there is more, then it is M shell. Now how many electrons are there in the first shell? 2. You can see here in the first shell there are 2 electrons, E minus on top and E minus below. First shell is close to the nucleus. Can you see? Now in second shell how many electrons should be there? There should be 8 electrons. Now you count, there are 8 electrons. I hope it is clear to you students till here. Okay, so next portion we will discuss in next class. I would like to discuss one more thing with you students, that each energy shell is associated with a fixed amount of energy. Okay, there is a fixed amount of energy in each energy shell. The amount of energy is not same in all the energy shells. Okay, as soon as the electrons they revolve, or as soon as the electron they move, the energy is not changed, it remains same. That much is enough for today. In the next class we will discuss the structure of atom in detail. If you have any doubt, please ask and revise this portion. Thank you students.